This week, I took a trip to Olympia where I followed Representative Chris Corry through his working schedule. Let me show you what a day in the life of one of our elected representatives includes.
So every day is a different day in the legislature. A lot of stuff going on. It's usually pretty action-packed, which is what I love about it.
Right now I'm on the Capitol steps where through the doors behind me, ideas are being discussed, bills are being written, and laws are being made.
Usually I'm starting around 7 or 8, and then we go till in the evening. Today's a little slower, which is nice because we had that floor action scheduled. Typically we don't schedule a bunch of stuff on there. But again, on a given day, I'm meeting with constituents, different groups. We've got committee hearings.
Corry's working day kicked off with meetings from constituents in his district. Then the House floor session began, where lawmakers voted on certain bills. On Wednesday, the legislature voted on bills that have already passed through the state Senate.
Hearing no objections, so ordered.
After that, he met with another constituent from his district.
That's actually probably my favorite part of the day is when I get to talk to people back home.
He then attended the House Consumer Protection and Business Committee meeting, where he heard people from across the state testifying, offering their thoughts and opinions on certain bills.
Like yesterday, we had an appropriations meeting on the budget, and we had over 300 people signed up to testify. So we were listening. Everybody got a minute to give their pitch, pro and con on the budget. We got to hear from a variety of groups.
Representative Corry is a member of the House Appropriations Committee, and he talked to me about the budget proposal that is currently being created.
It's kind of a misnomer that I've been dealing with a lot and talking to people on. Everybody thinks that we're in a budget shortfall. And really the only reason we have a budget shortfall is that we've been spending too much money in Olympia. So it's not like our tax revenue's down. The state's economy has slowed a bit, but we still actually have projected tax growth currently without any changes. So even though it's weird because we keep hearing this conversation about, well, we're doing a budget cut. We're actually growing the state budget by 8%. So we're net on net. We're spending more money than we were 2 years ago, but calling it a deficit budget. It's logic that only works in Olympia and obviously wouldn't apply in any of our household budgets, that's for sure.
The Appropriations Committee operates differently than all the other committees because they have such a monumental task to complete.
So typically, committee time is fixed, right, on certain things. The one exception to that is appropriations. When we have certain bills, like this is the operating budget, so it's the unveiling of our state's basically pocketbook, right? This is all the stuff we're planning on doing the next 2 years.
The state budget attracts hundreds of people testifying, giving their 2 cents on how their money is spent.
You'll get a lot of interested parties, some coming to say thank you, some coming to say we don't like this, and then a lot of thank you, but we want more. So it's always an interesting mix to hear where the budget is, because the budget is 1,300 some odd pages. It's huge, and there's a lot of details sometimes we don't see as legislators, like certain things we won't catch, but the community will catch, and they'll let us know, and that gives us a chance tomorrow when we go back to appropriations to run the bill. We can run amendments on it before we exec it out.
Corry has been a legislator since 2019, when he decided he wanted to be the change he wants to see.
I originally ran because I saw Olympia that was growing more and more out of touch with the people that they supposedly were serving. I was worried as a father and a husband, really like trying to make that American dream happen, right? Family, owning a home. I saw that becoming harder and harder for not just me, but for other families in the Yakima Valley. And I wanted to be a voice that said, this has to stop. We have to change.
He is currently in his 7th legislative session, where he is now the deputy minority leader for his party.
That means later nights than, an average member sometimes, but I'm happy to do it. The work is meaningful, and I will say this, I was surprised at just how much I enjoyed the work. I didn't know how that was going to be going in, but I love fixing things, and I love fixing things for people, so that's been really good to do.
The legislative session is 105 days or 60 days, depending on if it's an even or odd year, which gives legislators 200 plus days out of the year to be in their district.
We are a citizen legislature, so we are a part-time legislature. It's the most full-time, part-time job I've ever had, right? Because when we leave here, we're expected to go back to our other jobs, right? Or be it our other aspects of our community life and our personal life. But the the job as a legislator doesn't end. We're still fielding those calls, those questions, those issues. A lot of it's fun, right? I get to get tours of stuff that's going on in my district. I get to understand how the state runs at probably a more granular level than most people. So those are great opportunities. But again, I still get to keep helping people. So that's where it's fun. But it is work. I mean, throughout the year, you're constantly moving and doing and trying to help solve problems. So
The representative is happy to solve problems so that the people of the district he represents don't have to.
most people don't want to mess with what goes on here. They don't want to have to think about their state government on a day-to-day basis, and I don't blame them. That's why they send me here. So I try to help educate people because I want an informed citizenry. I want people who know what we're doing, but I want to get out of their way so that they can succeed, because when they succeed, the state does better, and that's good for all of us.
Thank you so much to Representative Chris Corry for inviting me to spend the day with him. I really appreciated the opportunity to see how things are done in our state capitol.